Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Much better. Today is a very important day in the history of the Waterfront Union. This particular building, cremated in its walls, and the entire facility is a fight. A true fight for the rights of the worker. And not at all times you were fortunate to have gotten what we desired, but it was a fight. That fight continues even more so today because the employer, more than anyone else, believes they are parable to the divine intervention, and this is sad. One of the major fighters, one of the pillars behind the movement, not only in Dominica but on a regional scale, was Kertist A.Augustus. And today we are gathered here, friends, wife, son, family members, quite a few of who we taught trade unionism, who we sent over to as far as Russia to actually further the skills in industrial relations. I'm going to put a former teacher of mine at the St. Mary's Academy to test, to actually lead us in the greatest anthem in the world, the anthem of the Commonwealth of Dominica, and also the invocation. I'm going to call a former French and Spanish and music teacher. I used to know him as a brother, now he's our own senior, John Riss, to lead us in the national anthem and the invocation. Make him feel welcome.
Thank you, His Majesty.
I love beauty, I love splendor, eyes towards so sweet and fair. All must surely gaze in wonder at that is so rich and rare. Rivers, valleys, with hills and mountains, all is this we do extol. Healthy and soul like our fountains, giving cheer that warms the soul.
I want to begin the invocation with a scripture verse taken from today's gospel message. And I read from Gospel of St. Matthew, beginning with verse 44 of chapter 13. Jesus said to the crowds, "The kingdom of heaven is like treasure hidden in a field, which someone has found. He hides it again. Goes off happy, sells everything he owns, and buys the field. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like a merchant looking for fine pearls. When he finds one of great value, he goes off and sells everything he owns and buys it. The gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
Dear friends, we're gathered here today to say thank you to God for the gift of Kertist Augustus, whom we had for about 74 years, and whose birthday would have been today. And we thank God for the legacy that he has left us. And in speaking of the treasure that we've just heard about in the gospel, we can all say that he has been for us a treasure. As really each one of us is a treasure, even if sometimes we don't recognize it. But the greatest treasure of all is the kingdom of heaven. The greatest treasure of all is saying that I am part of this kingdom that Jesus wants to give back to his Father at the end of time. And what is that kingdom? It's a kingdom of truth and life. A kingdom of holiness and grace. A kingdom of justice, of love and of peace. So I will come here today to launch this very exciting moment. As we remember Kertist, we think also of the kingdom of heaven, to which all of us belong. But ask ourselves the question, do we really promote truth? Do we really promote life? Do we really promote holiness and grace? Do we stand for justice? Are we a people of love and who work for peace? So let us pray. Almighty God and Father, we thank you for the gift of life. We thank you for truth. We thank you for holiness and grace. We thank you for inviting us to be people of love and peace and justice. Let your Spirit lead us today. Let your Spirit call us forth to be the people that you want us to be, the people of the kingdom. As we gather today and remember our brother Kertist, give us the grace to stand for what he stood for justice, for love, for equality. And let us, as we continue to remember him, remember you, Lord, who are the first to call us to love. As we remember the words of your Son Jesus, who said, the greatest commandment there is to love the Lord your God with all your heart and all your soul and all your strength, and love your neighbor as yourself. Lord, give us that ability to love you with all our heart, above all else, and to love each person as we recognize the dignity of each individual, rich and poor, black and white, and to serve you in love. We thank you, Lord, for this moment of grace. We ask you to bless us as we remember the words that your Son Jesus taught us, and as we pray in the same words. Oh, Father,
But deliver us from evil, for thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever.
in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
Amen.
Please be seated. A wonderful exhibition of a celebration of another genius amongst us. We would like to recognize the presence of Chevelle, Anthony Quartz, Bishop Stewart Quartz, also Chriselle Joseph, Central Credit Union, Joshua. Clarin Braid, Central Credit Union also. Josephine Dublin Prince, Venus Manager. To acknowledge your presence. Vanya David, President of DNCW. Likewise, Nigel Lawrence of the Dominica Council on Aging. Also, Mrs. Claudia Brumant of Dominic and everyone present here. The media. Kertist Matthew of DBS fame, I could recognize instantly with the only white shirt, long sleeve in the building. When we look at, or we go back just a few decades to adult active, to Louis Benoit, the late Kertist, and we continue to mourn people like Alvin Sierra, just one as a matter of fact, very close friend of Kertist Augustus. The lives that Kertist touched are presently making a meaningful contribution to Dominica's development. He wasn't always in the political realm, but he was every single adjective described by Monsignor. Serious, perfectionist, hardworking, dedicated, loyal. He fought until his last day for the betterment of the worker, for the betterment of mankind. This is why the official launch of the Kertist Augustus Foundation Inc. and scholarship is a very instrumental part of us. I was touched. Peter, John was touched. Amor presently was as close affiliate as you could ever get for years. They even called them brothers at one point in time. He touched our lives in a manner that made us wholesome. He sacrificed his life for us and for the betterment of the worker. It's going to give me great pleasure this afternoon to call on the director of the U.S. chapter, his son, named after him, the great Kertist Augustus. We now welcome Junior, Mr. Kertist, A.Augustus.
So first off, forgive me if I wipe my face repeatedly. It's really hot down here. Not just in these type of temperatures in the US. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am delighted to be with you today on the occasion of the official launch ceremony of the Kertist Augustus Foundation, and even more ecstatic to award the first scholarship to a very deserving student. I am Kertist Augustus, not Junior, the proud son of the late Kertist Augustus. It is no coincidence that we are gathered today on what would have been his 74th birthday to celebrate his life and enshrine his legacy. It was a mere 2 years ago that we were all shocked and saddened to learn of his unexpected passing on 9 July 2021. On 21 July 2021, I stood here in this exact spot, still grief-stricken, thanking each and every one of you for taking time out of your busy schedules to attend the memorial, but more so for the outpouring of love, respect, admiration, condolences, and sympathy, well wishes and prayers expressed to my father and to our family during that time. They were absolutely inspiring and heartwarming. Looking out in the audience today, I see many familiar faces who were in attendance then, and your presence is equally inspiring and appreciated now. Today we meet under different circumstances, a more joyous one, as we honor a phenomenal man who touched and enriched our lives, and that so many, both near and far, in ways too numerous to mention. I feel like I'm repeating exactly what he said, right? So you stole my spotlight. Thanks. But again, thanks everyone for showing up. I would be remiss if I didn't highlight the efforts of the Foundation's board members of the Dominica chapter, Ms. Evelyn Baptist, the director, Ms. Frederica Riley, the Vice Director, Ms. Martin Estrado, the Treasurer, Ms. Shanice Freeman, the Secretary, Mr. Ellensworth John, Board Member, as well as Ms. Celia Nicholas, Mr. Donald Roll, and Ms. A.Augustus, all honorary board members. A special mention to the U.S. chapter board members, Ms. Trinity Jones, Mrs. Gilda Benjamin, and Mr. Mike Johnson, located in Maryland, New York, and Washington, D.C., respectively. Words alone cannot express my fervent appreciation for your tireless efforts and support to actualizing this dream into reality. Finally, the love of his life, my mom, Ms. Lyris A.Augustus. It goes without saying that every son or daughter believes that their dad is the best in the world. And while I did not need any additional evidence, my time back here in Dominica 2 years ago, and since then, speaking with so many of you, being inundated with emails, texts, calls, and messages, and hearing the numerous tributes only served as confirmation that he was indeed one of the best. The most touching of those remain the stories and memories of experiences, interactions, activities that have been vividly recounted, offering some insight on the impact that he had on individuals, the Union, the island, and the Caribbean. His representation of Dominica from sports and athletics to the trade union movement remain awe-inspiring. So how can one appropriately commemorate someone as passionate, authentic, loyal, ambitious, and spiritual as Palace himself? That was the question that Mr. Amos Schlinford and I tried to decipher back then. Many ideas were considered, including A, commissioning the renaming of the street where he lived from Fort Lane to Curtis Augustus Lane. B, creating a museum highlighting the efforts of numerous trade union workers to include Mr. Roland John, Mr. Alvin Serra, Mr. Neville Weed, Mr. Louis Demois, to name a few. C, renaming this very building in his honor. And D, all of the above. All of the above, right? I opted to focus on something that would not only commemorate and highlight his life and legacy, but also accomplish something that he has long been an advocate for and could live on for future generations. He thrived on the idea of service to others and encouraged others to do the same. That serves as the basis of this foundation, a non-profit organization that sees higher education as a catalyst and an agent for change for individuals, families, and communities. We envision a community that recognizes the importance of academic attainment and assures positive educational outcomes are accessible to all, regardless of economic circumstances. As such, the mission of the Curtis Augustus Scholarship Fund is to provide monetary awards and resources to graduating elementary and primary school students whose desire is to further embark on their educational endeavors. The Foundation and Scholarship Fund are established to service the community that my dad devoted his life to represent. We are motivated to continue a legacy that will honor and remember the inspirations of my dad, to provide and encourage leadership and academic achievement in our youth, and assist them in pursuing their dreams. Having had the pleasure of meeting Mikhail and his parents, and as the first ever recipient of the Curtis Augustus Scholarship, I offer a few simple words of advice that my father lived by. First, practice the 5 Ps as you begin your tenure at St. Mary's Academy, which also happens to be my alma mater. Proper planning prevents poor performance. My father said that over and over again. He epitomized this, sometimes to a fault. Never want to be caught off guard or be unprepared, especially in his professional capacity. He believed in doing the quantitative, qualitative, and positive research necessary to not only be a noteworthy representation of himself, but also a reflection of the people he worked with and the people he represented. I encourage you to be, know, and do the same. As a recent retiree myself, there is a saying in the United States Army that upon enlisting, all you bring with you is your name. Your family lineage, history, failures, achievements, and accomplishments. Wrap all these things together and you are left with your reputation. My father had the reputation of being an articulate, well-informed, multifaceted leader with exceptional and sometimes frank interpersonal skills. Upon entering St. Mary's Academy, you too will quickly establish a reputation for yourself, not only for your peers, but also for your teachers. So take this opportunity to exemplify the talents and skills that exist within you. as you proceed onward in your studies at St. Mary's Academy, rely on what you have learned while at St. Mary's Primary. P.S. I too am a product of SMP and SMA. So if you need an example of success, here I am. So shout out to the principals, the teachers, staff, and students of both institutions. You have gained knowledge, skills, and talents which you can use daily. You are now more intelligent and talented thanks to your education. You now possess the virtues and winning attitude which, when applied, make you a great citizen of your community and the country. Indeed, education has the potential to change lives. Many can attest that my dad was a phenomenal person, husband, leader, manager, and friend, but most of all, he was a purist. He worked hard, sometimes annoyingly so, but also knew how to have fun, because all work and no play makes Jack and Jill dull human beings. I had to change the saying to make it more inclusive. So be attentive and present, patient and kind, be eager to learn more. Thrive on the idea of service to others and encourage others to do the same. Be a living creature of godliness, integrity, respect, and responsibility. Know the importance of being honest and reliable, the value of hard work, the significance of truth, and the honor of selfless service. It sounds like a tall task, but we are confident you can exceed our expectations. Finally, he always reminded me to be you, be authentic, be the exception. I offer you the same. Those are the traits, values, and qualities that have brought you this far and will undoubtedly support your future success and accomplishments. So again, thanks to everyone in attendance, congrats to Mikhail and Mr. and Mrs. Blaise, and happy birthday, Dad. We love and miss you.
Thank you very much. Not Junior, but Kertist. A.Augustus. Have you ever thought of a Dominica without no industrial relations, no unions, employers who do what they want, pay us what they want, how they want, when they want, we have to go to work anytime they want us. It was once like this. When there was a master who dictated what we would do. We have been living a life which has been so much different. And I'm just going to go down memory lane. There used to be a group of guys they used to call the drunkard in the streets of the capital city who they took to actually work the vessels. They used to call them V. Ned, God, and Kertist Augustus, along with Louis Benoit, with Roy Bannis and the rest, they brought that Neg Mao, they transformed that Neg Mao to a body that we can be proud of. May the legacy continue to live on. And I can probably say I am part of the legacy for over 40 years. Yes, over 40 years I'm part of that. I know most may not know that. So by the time I left the same alma mater as you, St. Mary's Academy, as a matter of fact, even before I left the St. Mary's Academy, I was a board worker. The respectability. We used to be kicked around. We used to be laughed at. But it was now own houses, they now have developments, they own various sectors of society where they excel. All due to the hard work, the brilliance of people like Kertist, Augustus, Louis Benoit, Roy Bannis, to name a few. Is it possible that all the members of the foundation may stand so that who doesn't know you may see all the members of the Kertist Augustus Foundation? We stand and a round of applause for them, and we have to do that. This is extremely important. And thank you very much. And like his son said, I really believe that all four of the ideas and the pointers that you think our ways to honor this genius, I think, should be. Yes. And possibly one of the people I'm magistrate, a calypso lover, an attorney may be leading the fight to see either the lane or the avenue Kertiste Augustus is the Dominica chapter director, Miss Evelina Baptist. Give us a welcome.
Thank you very much, Mr. Charles, Master of Ceremonies. Welcome, one and all. Good afternoon. So the Kertiste Augustus Foundation Incorporated U.S. chapter was incorporated in the United States on the 13th of April 2022. And then there are 3 directors, 4 directors in the U.S. chapter. The Dominica chapter was later, on the 27th of June 2023, incorporated under the laws of the Commonwealth of Dominica, the Companies Act, as a non-profit organization for the purposes of providing scholarships to students entering secondary school and for similar and other charitable purposes. As Mr. Augustus Kertiste informed you, the scholarships are given and will be given in memory of his late father, Kertiste A.Augustus, whom you just heard about. But I would like to add that, and we all know it, but I'd like to add that the late Kertiste Augustus was a trade union par excellence. Somebody described him as the trade union guru. And he was that, but he also held to the view that education was fundamental to the advancement of the nation. And so it's so appropriate, even more appropriate than the scholarship are given in his memory. For the past year, before its incorporation, the incorporated and its office, and the interim directors and members worked assiduously to have the foundation registered and ready to give its scholarship. Now, scholarships and the value of education. The Education Act, that's the Education Act of Dominica, which is Act number 11 of 1997, makes it compulsory for persons of the age of 5 years to the age of 16 years to compulsory attend educational institutions and to be instructed according to the syllabus that the Ministry of Education has approved. It also does provide for continuing education to complete high school and to attend tertiary education like the state college and the vocational training and such. Now, in relation to both the mandatory section that you must go to school at a certain age and the non-mandatory sections of the Act, educational students, for the Education Act to work, right? Education must be accessible. And this is an important point because accessibility does not mean that we're speaking of the facilities, right? It must be construed broadly. It means that the person must have the ability, right, to attend high school. That means he must be able to afford it. He or she must be able to afford it, or his parents. Yes? So So if you cannot afford it based on various reasons, then it's not accessible. So the provisions of the Act will not properly be administered, because when you have facilities, it is not accessible because you can't afford it. Now, since independence, and maybe even before, I know that a lot of many actions were taken by successive governments to make education less and less inaccessible. And I would like to mention, I think it's necessary to mention, the actions of the increase in the number of scholarships to high school by government, because we know at one time they were quite by do that. Probably it would be only 3 scholarships or 5 scholarships. But now we have over 100 scholarships and people have bursaries. So that has been done. The government have set up the Education Trust Fund, which came into being by the Trust Fund Act, Education Trust Fund Act in 1981. It has also increased the number of secondary schools to which students can go. But notwithstanding all that, there is, in my opinion, there is no lack of need to provide scholarships to students. And this, of course, is contingent both on the requirement of the Act, compulsory education, and more so because of the growing, and it has started for some time, the growing understanding that education is valuable for the economic growth and personal growth of persons in your country. And thirdly, the economic downturn which parents now face. So although we have all that happen, right, you may be wondering why a new foundation for scholarships, but there is no lack of need to continue giving scholarships for those reasons, right? There was a time when education didn't matter. If you were 13 years old and your dad died, then you come back to work, take you from school and come to and start to work, right? But now hardly any parents would do something like that because they understand now the value. So I'm not saying that it is 100% perfect, but there's a greater understanding of the need for education. So that's where the Augustus Foundation steps in. That's where we are. We know that there's a need. And so, in keeping with its vision and mission, the foundation, in addition to giving scholarship, intends to work with the public sector, whether the Ministry of Education, principals, teachers, parents, and other stakeholders in supporting and advocating what is required for student success. So that is part of the vision. Yes, we give the scholarship, but we would like to come in as much as we can or we are allowed by the law, right, to assist in other ways as we can. Whether it's by setting up lectures, whether it's providing some information, we would like to also be involved in that. So we're not just there to give a scholarship, we're there to serve the community as Kertiste proposed. And we want to serve the community as fully as we can. Of course, at this time, we are a baby organization, so we'll expect that next week. But that's where we're going. Yes. And some of the things I think that we can assist with is how we can assist in having students understand how they can effectively and strategically do their studies. Yes? This is important. Things like self-discipline, time management, knowing how to deal with peer pressure, even something like maintaining a healthy body and a healthy mind, keeping a healthy diet, physical exercise. You know there's this old saying, all work and no play. Which Jack or Jill don't go. Jack don't go and Jill don't go. So it's an essential thing. So you can't have your child sitting at home, eating pizza, watching TV, his books summary TV, and you're satisfied because you think that he's all right. He's not exercising. He's only eating pizzas. You expect your returns to be as good as it could be if you would engage in physical exercise. And even some other things that students can be involved in. When I listen to students, some of them are interested in what happens around them. Climate change, preservation of the environment, right? And I think students, because they go to school to be there, so I think they could be involved in those things. And of course, if we can assist in some way to make them more around, that would be something that we have to do. Even leadership, yes, how could they be better leaders and develop leadership skills? So how am I going to pass for this? Already? But I know we have spoken about that in our meetings, so we know what we want to do. We want to be all around. Now, as I've just said, education is important and it can change your community. And that has been underscored by many. And it will be a good thing for us to, I know we know it because we have teachers here, we have adults here, we have child here, but we must sometimes hear it. And I have this little quote from an article that was written in 2014 about the importance of education by Mr. Ghani, and he had a lot to say. And what he had to say was very simple. He said, education is the key to success for the future. It has many advantages. It illuminates a person's mind and thinking. Having high education helps people think and behave in a way that contributes to their success. Education makes us view blocks as challenges. It is the main factor behind successful people. Education also helps us build our skills, values, morals, and allow children to be open-minded. So we know as a foundation we're the right things and we're doing the right thing. I would also like to mention something said by the late great South African leader, statesman, activist, president, Nelson Mandela. I could describe it quite simply, the value of education. It helps people to become citizens, to get better jobs, know the difference between good and bad. It helps us grow and develop. We are able to shape a better society to live in by knowing and respect laws and regulations. And even the good book itself speaks to the value of education in quite a lot of verses. But the one that I will quote is from Proverbs 4 to 16. Which says, in part, having wisdom and understanding is better than silver and gold. And some of us well know that. So, we say this afternoon that, again, that we are here to serve you. The foundation is working. The foundation actually has already appointed a scholarship selection committee, and it has also adopted a resolution for scholarship selection proceedings rules and ethical rules. And this is to ensure transparency in the selection process. So we're not coming there to tell you to just pick anybody. We have a process and we have rules to guide the selection committee. Right? And the selection committee was appointed in accordance with our bylaws, which we have drafted. Yes, which we have bylaws. Apart from that, the foundation intends, as soon as it's required, to set up a trust fund. And the trust fund role will be to administer the funds, the donations, etc., within the foundation. We want to ensure that when we make the donation and we put your funds, that your funds are only used for the purpose that is to provide scholarships to students and raising money. Nothing else. So a trust fund will come so, and also in short order we'll also be registering under the financial intention regulations, the relevant ones, so that we can be scrutinized by the financial intelligence division. So we want you to feel comfortable as members of the public that when you do give your donations and make your donations, that it is being properly utilized and for the purpose that you have. So again, I'd like to welcome you, and particularly our first recipient who this afternoon will receive his package, and to say to you that you can, well, I probably said it already, so emphasize that we are open to donations, right? And you can ask us the questions, and you will do at what time that you want. All right. So thank you, one and all.
Thank you very much, the director of the chapter, of the Dominica chapter, Ms. A.Augustus. This is the moment in time. History about to be created. We now call on not Junior, but Mr. Kertist, A.Augustus. As we are about now to create history at the Waterfront and Allied Workers Union headquarters, education is a right, not a privilege.
Okay, thank you again. So yeah, we've come to the point in the ceremony where we get to award the first ever Kertist Augustus Scholarship Award to a very deserving individual. And so we'd like to call Mikhail Blaise to the front so that he can receive all that he's expecting from this scholarship. So the first thing we're going to issue him is a scholarship certificate that says that he's the first recipient of the award and that he will be using that award to attend the St. Mary's Academy. And now we'd like to actually welcome his parents, because no student is successful by themselves. And so the support that we're providing is really a reflection of the support that they would have provided him as a student. And so we'd like to welcome Mr. and Mrs. Blaise as well. opportunity just for everyone to see everything in the back are all his textbook, his notebooks, his stationery, etc. That's going to assist him in being successful in his first term at the St. Mary's Academy. So, please stand. Ms. Baptist?
Yes.
So, okay, and so now we would like the parents to go back to their seats, and we invite the newest recipient of the scholarship to make a few words.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm all invited. Welcome. My friends and I would first like to thank the Almighty Father for having me here today. I would like to say a big thank you to the Kertiste A.Augustus Foundation for accepting my application for this scholarship. Thanks to my past principal and all of my past teachers of St. Mary's Primary, I stand before you as a proud recipient of this scholarship. I promise to make myself and family proud, and also the foundation as well. Once again, thank you.
How are you feeling? Excited? Okay, what's your name again? What's your full name?
Nikai Brian.
Nikai Brian Bless. What would you like to become in the future? You haven't thought of it? A pilot? Wow, you're not flying. So, it's not this, that's where we go, with the evolution. And you are very excited today. Okay, so I want you to tell everyone there, thank you very much. I love you.
Thank you very much. I love you.
Parents, I prefer the father come and speak. Because he's a fellow. How are you, sir? What would you like to say on behalf of your son receiving this special?
I would like to thank the foundation, especially for accepting his application and presenting him for all the gifts. And I'm looking forward to work with him to go a long way in his studies.
Generally, and tell us generally what sort of son he is. Generally.
Well, he's a very disciplined young boy. He follows instruction well, and he can do very well.
Okay. So I want you not to tell him how much you love him.
I don't want to say that.
But I want you to tell him what I love you. We know what we want to hear. Yes.
I love you.
I have licensed a fellow former Portugal. Okay, so we now call on, is it the performance now? Once again, my former teacher at the St. Mary's Academy, he taught me to sing, I'm not sure. Very fine voice. But, Monsignor, Congress, give us a performance with his guitar. No guitar.
You know, I just want to follow through on what has been said this afternoon, so thank you. And it so happens that the song I chose to sing is one of my favorites, my tribute. And one of the lines in it is, just let me live my life, let it be pleasing, Lord, to thee. And if I get any praise, let it go to Calvary. To God be the glory. I hope to have a musical accompaniment, but the technology failed me, so we're going to sing without any accompaniment. Not only that, I'm going to invite you also, if you know it, to please join in that singing. Let us all give God the glory for all that has happened here today, and all that will happen, especially in the life of our young Michael, who's receiving the scholarship. How can I say thanks for the things you have done for me? Things are so undeserved, yet you gave to prove your love for me. The voices of a million angels could not express my gratitude. All that I am and ever hope to be, I owe to thee. To God be the glory. To God be the glory. To God.
He finds in everything. The good days, there will be bad days, but in every day he finds. Amen. And this is a very special day that the good Lord has made. And he gives us to go and rejoice. So on behalf of WAWU and the board of this special foundation, and in the spirits of our ancestors, in particular our ancestor Kertist Augustus, brilliant orator, disciplinarian, one really tough education, as I remember here, sitting here, for numerous seminars after seminars, because it was interesting for him to get the ordinary man to elevate themselves, to find out more about the surroundings, and most of all the workplaces. And the walls of this, or the perimeter of this building, continue to be filled with the Spirit. A few refreshments are available for everyone. Those who want some refreshments, you can have some right now. And those who don't, just want some water like me, you can give it to me so I can move. Thank you very much, by the way, and may God bless you. Website. Yeah. Okay, the website.
So, again, as Ms. Baptist mentioned, we are willing to accept donations and contributions. Please feel free to visit www.KertisAugustusFoundation.org, where you can actually find more information about what the foundation stands for, the mission, the vision, how to apply. We are still accepting applications for this calendar year, or this scholastic year. And so, academic year. So please utilize that, get as much information as possible. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact the point of contact that's listed on the website. Sure, ask questions.
Well, I saw that the scholarship is open to like students going from primary to secondary, but in the future, do you foresee scholarships open to university students?
Yes, so great question. So this is just the first step, right? We're getting our feet established here in Dominica. As long as we have a robust fundraising opportunity and we have the funds available to allow individuals to explore different opportunities, we are willing to extend that not only to college but also to certification, training, etc. outside of just high school. So yes. Any other questions? Temper me with questions, I'm ready.
Do you have a figure in mind for each academic for the number of students that you will sponsor?
Yeah. So the initial plan is to do 2 for the first year. The intent is that after the first year, the students that have been selected based on their academic performance in first form will continue providing them scholarships in second, third, fourth, all the way through high school. So the intention is to do 2 now, and then expand that based on the funds that we have available. So we are seeking contributions, donations, not only here in Dominica, but also in the US, that could then offset some of the expenses that most students here in Dominica will be experiencing. So it's not just 1 this year, hopefully 2 this year based on the application I've received, and next year we'll expand that to 4, maybe 5. With the understanding that we do give a priority to members who belong to the WAWU union, but there's also the opportunity for non-WAWU members to apply as well.
And where can application forms?
So if you go to the website, www.KertisAugustusFoundation.org, you can, on the top right-hand corner, you'll see submit applications. You can download both the Word and the PDF document. Of course, the Word can be fillable. The PDF, you will have to manually enter the information. And you can submit both documents either to the email, which is admin.KertisAugustusFoundation.org, or you can submit it here at the WAWU office at the upstairs.
Is the application there? Because if somebody not tech savvy, I don't know how to fill in Word and this, but I can.
So we already have printed out applications upstairs that can be received, filled in. There are specific requirements, right? So you not only do you submit the application, but you have to submit your academic records. You have to get a letter of recommendation from your principal. You have to give us the results from the national examination. So there's a checklist of all the requirements that has to be attached to the complete packet before we submit it.
Short story.
Oh, and also an essay. 2 essays actually. 1 essay that speaks to who the man Kertist Augustus is, and then the other, which is your intentions will go into high school, what your goals, experiences, and desires are. Other questions? Those were easy. Great question. So the intent is that we would first like to receive financial contributions, and so you can actually do mobile banking, direct deposit into the account. The difficulty with other supplies, which we're willing to accept, is that we don't have a designated location for the foundation. So this is just an interim spot, and so we can't legally take up space within WAWU, right? So we can't. We're not supposed to. So we would welcome the financial donations first, and then once we are fully established and we have a designated location, then we'll be willing to accept any of the stationary donations that the public is willing to provide. Other questions? If none, this completes the ceremony. Thank you so much for coming. I will look forward to your support in the future. This will be happening annually, so the faces that I'm seeing here right now, God willing, should be here next year, and the year after, and the year after. This is going to be a long-lasting thing. So again, thanks for your attendance. More photos? More photos. And can I get all of the board members here as well so we can have a photo with the recipients? Are you going to take the photos?
Can you move it? The remove the podium.
Alright everyone, a pleasant good afternoon to every one of you are here this afternoon. As you can see, this was the first official launch of the Kertiste A.Augustus Foundation, in which this is this is the first ceremony that they had for scholarship for a young boy who obtained a scholarship, and of course for furthermore and more students to have the opportunity to get opportunities for scholarships or during high school and later down for colleges and universities. So everyone of you who are here this afternoon is wonderful. Each and everyone of you coming out and supporting the Kertiste A.Augustus Foundation and of course Emonews. And this is going to be the end of our live broadcast. We just want to thank each and one of you for coming out here this afternoon once again. And we are truly grateful for your support, and of course the Kertiste A.Augustus Foundation. So please do have a wonderful afternoon, a wonderful week, productive week, and we'll see you next time. Once again, thank each and every one of you for joining this live stream, and this is going to be the ending of our broadcast. You have a pleasant day.